So for today's equipment workout, for the strength portion, it's going to be 12 minutes to build up to a heavy snatch. Otherwise, you can work on your overhead squat. With the snatch and overhead squat, if you have a barbell, I would definitely use it. Otherwise, if you do not have a barbell, do not want to use a barbell, you could work up to a heavy snatch with a kettlebell or a dumbbell. You could do with an overhead squat as well, a little bit more difficult with the kettlebells and dumbbells for the overhead squat. So for the heavy snatch, we have our barbell. Okay, we want to make sure we're using hook grip. Get in a nice starting position. I have a nice chest up, kind of in a little, we don't want to have our butt way up here when we start our snatch. We want to have our butt down lower. And then we want to do a nice snatch. Stand up from the front and stand up. Now for the snatch, it's always good to work on your squat snatches, but you could also do power snatch if you do not want to, squat all the way down. Like you do power. Okay, if you're gonna work on your overhead squats, just remember when we overhead squat, we want to make sure we keep our chest as high as we can for as long as we can. So when we go down, we want to keep our chest up. If it needs to drop a little bit, that's okay, but we don't want it way down here, okay? Slight drop, and then stand back up. It's also important when we overhead squat that when we get down here, we don't want to bring our butt up. We want our hips and our shoulders to rise at the same time. Okay. And it's always good too, if I had a tank top on, you could see, but my armpits are facing you. So when I get down here, right, you can see my shoulders are forward. That's bad. We want to have your armpits facing out. Nice open position. Come back up. So for the strength portion, you're gonna do 12 minutes. You're gonna work up to a heavy snatch or overhead squat. I would recommend doing maybe an EMOM if you'd like to do 12 reps, so 1 rep every minute. Otherwise, you could do an E2 mom, so every 2 minutes. You could also do like 2 reps every 2 minutes, 3 reps every 3 minutes, whatever kind of works for you. You could also just set the clock and do 12 minutes of snatching. After that, we are going to do the Metcon, and we are doing Isabel. So Isabel is a girl workout. Girl workouts are famous for being quick and a little painful. So usually they're pretty quick, but also pretty painful. But it's good. They're fun. So for Isabel, it's 30 snatches for time. Now these snatches could be power snatches. That's what I would recommend. But if you need to squat snatch, you are welcome to do that. Muscle snatch, whatever, but probably 30 power snatches is gonna be your best bet. The weight for men is 135 and it's 93 for the ladies. So that is the RX weight. Now with this workout, we want it to be quick. So ideally we want it to be under 10 minutes. So you need to pick a weight where you can keep moving. Now it doesn't mean that you're gonna do 30 unbroken touch and go. If you do 30 unbroken touch and go and you've never done this before, it probably means you went a little too light. But it is something that I don't want you to get bogged down on. So pick a weight where you're confident that if you had to do 10 or maybe 8, you could do it. Doesn't mean you will, but you could do those unbroken. I personally, for this workout, like to do quick singles. So I've done this workout several times, and I prefer just doing quick singles. So, you know, doing a snatch, dropping it if I have the appropriate weights on the bar, or setting it down nicely, and then taking a breath and then going again. So really, you're just taking about a second rest in between each rep, and you kind of keep it moving. So that's what I like to do for Isabel, but it is 30 reps. So the kind of summary there is it's going to get intense. It should be pretty quick, and pick a weight where you can keep moving. But, you know, it is 135 and 93, so it needs to be heavy-ish. It should be moderately heavy. So say you pick 53 and that's just flying off the ground, and you do 20 reps and it's like, I don't feel a thing. That means you didn't go heavy enough. So pick a weight where you're still working for it, but you're confident that you're not going to miss any reps. And you can just keep moving. So after you do Isabel, that would be with the barbell. If you don't have a barbell, you can also use, a kettlebell. So for kettlebell snatches for Isabel, you're gonna do 30 on each arm, and the RX weights for this are gonna be 53 for the men, 35 for the ladies. So if you're gonna do 30 on each arm, I would recommend doing maybe 10 on one arm, 10 on the other, and going back and forth. So that'd be 60 reps total. Or you could do 30 on one arm and 30 on the other. However you want to split it up, 5, 5, 5, 5 is up to you. But for these, again, they're just kettlebell snatches. And because you're coming from the ground, I'm going to say that you do need to come to the ground each time, because if we do the hang snatches, it's kind of like we're doing hang snatches with a barbell, and that's not Isabel. Isabel, the barbell comes from the ground. So I'm going to say that you should set the kettlebell down each time. So snatch up, and I could do another one, snatch and up, and then maybe I switch arms after 5. So if you're going to use the kettlebell, make sure you I would recommend putting the kettlebell to the ground each time, although it's your workout. So if you want to do hang snatches, fine. But make sure you do 30 on each arm. And that will also be for time. Again, it should be quick. Fairly quick, you should be able to keep moving. After you finish Isabel, you're gonna take whatever rest you need to recover, maybe 2, 3, 4 minutes. And then you're gonna do some ab work. And this is gonna be for quality. So this isn't really gonna be timed. Just make sure you're getting good quality movement. But you're gonna do 3 rounds of the following. 30 hollow body rocks, 30-second arch hold, 1 minute forearm plank, then you rest a minute, then you go again, and then a third time. So hollow body rocks, keep those arms by those ears, and nice good neutral head, and rock back and forth 30 times. Your arch hold, arms by your ears, and hold. Try to keep your legs together if you can, and keep your arms close to your ears. After that, you're gonna go into a forearm plank for 1 minute. Nice flat bodies. And then you'll rest for a minute. And again, you're gonna do that ab cycle 3 times total, and then you are all done.